Good morning, friends. On behalf of the Lokmat Media Group, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you for today's Lokmat Infra Conclave. We have among us the Honorable Minister for Roads, Transport, Highways and Shipping, Shri Nitin Gadkari ji, the Chairman of NHAI, Shri Raghav Chandra ji, and among them, a group of elite panelists, Mr. Sanjay Palve of Yes Bank, Captain Sharma, CEO of JSW Infrastructure, Mr. Jayant Meskar of MEP Infra, and Mr. Abhay Lodha, CMD of the Top Worth Group. A big thank you to all of you for taking the time to come here and share your vision about the infrastructure development through this platform. Lokmat Media Group is one of the prominent media groups in the country with presence in television, newspapers, and digital. It publishes the largest read newspapers in Maharashtra and Goa, and with 2 million copies and 7.5 million readers daily, we have our fingers on the pulse of these states. Lokmat has always strived to address issues concerning the citizens, and in doing so, it has created various forums by way of which these objectives can be achieved. Forums such as Lokmat Sakhi Manch, which is one of India's largest women forum with over 3 lakh members, Yuva Next with more than 1 lakh youth members, and Lokmat Knowledge Forum, where leaders from various walks of life come and share their ideas on a variety of subjects. Infrastructure is one such topic which we feel is directly connected with the quality of life of the citizens and with the growth of the economy. Being a responsible media, we thought it was our responsibility to keep the focus on this sector, and in doing so, we had the idea of this infrastructure conclave with this objective that at least some good ideas will be shared here and possibly some solutions could be evolved, which would aid increasing the push for the infrastructure in the country. India is also among the handful of economies around the world which has been experiencing a rapid economic growth over the last few years, resulting in a significant increase in the per capita income of its 1.2 billion plus population. The India's target GDP growth of 9% over the next 5 to 7 years and the increasing demand of this growing population cannot be met unless and until the infrastructure rollout stays ahead of the demand. The Indian government plans to spend about US $376 billion in infrastructure over the next 3 years. The length of the national highways is expected to grow from 92,850 kilometers in 2013-14 to over 1 lakh kilometers in 2017. Urban transport, power sector, water transport, and several other areas are expected to be revolutionized. During the various sessions in the day, we will hear the ideas, the plans, and the visions on this front directly from the people who are responsible for this task and the various stakeholders. Infrastructure development has become a key success factor for India. Some of the key initiatives taken by the present government include incremental rate of growth of rollout of highways and roads in terms of per kilometer per day, the Sagarmala project, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, the National Waterways Bill of 2015, launch of online platforms such as ePace, Infracom, smart cities, etc., etc. While we have seen these several key initiatives from the present government, it has also been observed that the focus on infrastructure has been somewhat erratic between the successive governments. Just as India's foreign policy doesn't change with the change in governments, we feel that there should be an infrastructure policy administered and monitored by an independent body, leading to a consistent and sustained development of infrastructure and completion of projects in a time-bound and cost-effective manner. A change in government should not affect the rollout of the infrastructure. In this background, it was heartening to note the statement of our Honorable Prime Minister, who declared that infrastructure initiatives are his government's top priority in order to improve the economic growth. The second aspect is that of quality. We often find that newly built roads, bridges, flyovers, etc., develop potholes, or the quality of ride offered by them is not of the same standard as one experiences in some of the developed economies. or the aesthetics are not up to the international standards. When we compare the metro stations or the monorail stations in Mumbai to those that we typically see in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or even Malaysia, a leading statistics website, statista.com, ranked India 81 amongst 140 countries with a score of 3.76 on a scale of 1:7 for the best infrastructure in 2015. We can certainly aspire for better. India plans to spend about 10% of its GDP on infrastructure development in the 12th five-year plan. As per the McKinsey's report, over the last 20 years, India has spent on an average 4% of its GDP, whereas in the same period, the investment made by China was 8.5%. I understand that our rate of investment cannot be decided looking at China, but I think there certainly is a need to increase the rate of investment in this crucial sector. We also need a long-term vision with a long-term capacity building. The infrastructure rollout should be planned and executed keeping 25, 30, 40 years in mind, and not just the next 3 or 4 years. We've often seen in some of the cases of roads and airports that these capacities have gotten exhausted very quickly. As exciting as the sector is for business, there are several challenges. Cost overruns, poor project planning, unviable projects, slow and centralized pre-tendering approval process, delays in land acquisition, etc. are just some of them. One interesting statistics I read somewhere was that the average speed of trucks in India is merely 20 kilometers per hour, while a truck on Indian roads is able to cover somewhere between 60,000 to 1 lakh kilometers in a year. In the US, a truck can cover almost 4 lakh kilometers. However, I would say that India is lucky in having one of the most dynamic ministers in Shri Gadkari ji, who is in charge of large portion of the infrastructure development of the country. He is a no-nonsense, straight-talking and transparent minister who means business. We have seen him in action in his previous role as the PWD minister in government of Maharashtra, where he left a significant mark, and I have no doubt that he would leave his mark in this ministry in the present role as well. The Mumbai-Pune Expressway and over 30 flyovers built in the Mumbai city are still something very much appreciated by the citizens of the state, sir. So friends, we will hear on all the above mentioned aspects and much more from our expert panelists shortly. So without further delay, I welcome all of you once again and hand over the proceedings for the further progress. Thank you so much.